This is a double layout full out or a full twisting double layout, and hers is the highest I've seen. Her technique is incredibly efficient. Just like a pole vaulter generates speed in the run, a gymnast generates speed in their back handspring. In gymnastics, the goal is to find the length of back handspring that allows you to travel across the floor as fast as possible. Simone's back handspring is incredibly long, and she's only 4 foot 8 inches tall. She plants her feet like a pole vaulter and explodes off the floor. Simone is uniquely patient to complete her lift before she starts her twist. She twists a little bit earlier these days, as you can see here, but she still completes her set and reaches her maximum height. There are 7 years between these two layout full outs you're watching, and she still does it incredibly well dropping out of this skill. Watch for this. It looks like her back handspring is in fast motion and her flips are in slow motion because she goes so high. Let's take a look at her double-double layout, or 2 flips with 2 twists in the layout position. She completes her set and lift just as she did with her full twisting double layout. Look how late that is, very patient. You can actually see her chest rise as she initiates her twist, and look at the height, beautiful. Again, she finishes the full out and drops out of this skill, just satisfying to watch. There are not many female gymnasts that do this skill, but here's a side-by-side with Michaela Skinner. You can really see how patient Simone is with her lift and set. Skinner has already completed a half twist. It's instinctive for most gymnasts to twist early on these very difficult twisting skills because it speeds up the rotation, but it decreases the height. Skinner has a very strong throw and rotates remarkably fast, so she gets it around pretty well. Simone's patience and strength allow her to set with both height and speed of flip, so she finishes much higher. Just ideal technique. Here's a side-by-side of Jade Carey and Simone Biles. Again, we see Jade with a strong throw and very tight form, and Simone's patience and strong set and throw. They actually have a lot of similarities here, but because Jade twists much earlier than Simone, her double-double flips around very fast, but it's lower. Still, Jade and Simone both do this very difficult skill with great execution and very easily. Simone has many skills named after her, and this is one of them. It's a double layout half turnout. Again, it's Simone's patience that makes this skill possible for her. She really does a double layout and spots the floor, and at the last minute adds that half twist. She makes this look easy, but it's actually very difficult to be patient enough not to twist early. Very innovative and well done. It looks just as good now as it ever did. Her flexibility then and now still look great, but she consistently does not point her front toe. Of course, in slow motion this stands out much more. She's always been pretty consistent with these bent leg, one leg turns. She does them on beam as well. She does change up her tumbling passes from time to time, and sometimes she does a layout front full step out to a round off back handspring tuck double double. That's a double backflip with 2 twists. Or a tuck full in back out, which is a double backflip with 1 twist. On this side by side, she does a full in on the right side and a double double on the left side. She generates a lot of power out of her layout front full step out and makes both of these passes look casual. But for her, it looks like the only difference is really a tuck backflip or a tuck full flip. Really great technique. Here's a side by side with Jade and Simone. This is a very rare tumbling pass for women, and they both do this incredibly well, staying in a very tight tuck throughout. It's hard to stay tucked in twisting skills, and Simone is very good at keeping a tight tuck in even her most difficult twisting skills. Her normal dismount used to be a double-double, but it seems now that more often she dismounts with a double layout. Her then and now double layout both look very strong and comfortable, and almost identical. I do believe a double layout is easier to stick the landing. Let's get started with one of Simone's most difficult and impressive tumbling passes. This is a triple-double, or a tucked double backflip with 3 twists. The only 2 women that I'm aware that do a triple-double are Jade Carey and Simone Biles. I've already done a video analysis of Jade Carey, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description. This triple-double, in my view, breaks down to a double full in, full out, but I don't really know how she breaks it down in her mind. Let's take a look at a side-by-side comparison of Simone Biles' triple-double with Kenzo Shirai's triple-double. Kenzo is considered one of the best twisters in gymnastics by many, but he still opens up more than Simone on his twisting during his triple-double. Kenzo has more of a whipping around flip, while Simone goes straight up and rotates her flip via her tight tuck position. They both complete the skill very comfortably. She's so strong in the air, and she pulls her body through her twisting and flipping very fast. That gives her a lot of time to spot the ground and prepare for her landing. Just incredible technique and strength throughout this entire triple-double. I think one of her biggest challenges in her more difficult tumbling passes is staying in bounds. She has a very strong run, very long back handspring and snap down, and she's very bouncy and bounces out of bounds sometimes. Thanks again as always for tuning in. Let's do a closer analysis of her tumbling. She is the 2020 Olympic champion on this event. It's very difficult to compare her floor work from the past to her current floor work as she's constantly progressing her difficulty towards the Olympics. I believe Jade will focus more on her stronger events, so I'm not sure what skills she may add into her bar routine. When we take a closer look at her double layout full out and compare it to then and now, there really isn't that much difference. I believe it's her endurance and strength that will help her add more difficulty. She already knows and understands these skills, and they're part of her repertoire. She just needs to be stronger to add them in. Jade is uniquely fast off the ground and very strong in the air, and I think that's what allows her to do the more difficult skills compared to the other tumblers. This is a side-by-side comparison to Kenzo, who does one of the best triple doubles in the world. This is a double layout flip with 3 twists. One of the most difficult tumbling passes being done today. Jade gets back into her flip rotation very fast, where Kenzo does the same, except his trajectory is more upwards. Jade flips very fast, but loses a bit of height because of this. They both get their legs crossed up a bit here, but they're in similar positions to look for the landing. A very difficult skill made to look fairly comfortable. Here's a side-by-side comparison to Simone Biles' tucked triple double. Again, Jade gets back into her flip rotation very fast, where Simone launches much more vertically. Simone is tucking, so she doesn't need to focus on her flip rotation as much as her tucked body is smaller. When we twist, the body wants to open, so Simone does an incredible job at staying tucked throughout this entire skill. Jade's incredible speed off the floor takes her laid out body around pretty comfortably. That's just fun to watch. Here's her powerful set and initiation of her flip and twist. She also keeps her head in and neutral, which helps her keep her flip rotation fast. She completes this double-double layout very easily. Also, her legs are glued together with fantastic form throughout. Here's a side-by-side of Kaylee and Jade. I really like the way they do their front flip layout with their hands by their side. Jade does a tuck double-double out of this, and that shows how strong she is to generate even more power after the layout front step out. She actually does this seemingly comfortable. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my perspectives. Rebeca Andrade. The most common mount for Rebeca is a layout front full step out into a round off back handspring tucked full in back out, or double back with a full twist. Again, here's a side by side with Jordan Childs doing the same pass. They both open their front layout full, moving forward and keeping strong momentum moving across the floor quickly. They increase the length of their back handsprings to create power like a pole vaulter does with a fast run. Both have a very strong reach and throw with their arms and their chest, and Rebeca gets her knees up faster here, which makes her body smaller and increases her flip and twist rotation. Very similar position here. Rebeca has finished her twist completely and squared off for her back flip out to finish the skill. Rebeca lands slightly higher, but they both complete the skill very high and easily. For her second pass, she does a round off back handspring double layout full out or layout double back flip with a full twist, really nice. Here's a side-by-side with Jordan Childs. They both have very long, powerful back handsprings that travel across the floor very fast. Here we can see a technical difference. Jordan starts her twist much earlier and does more of a full in or a full width in her double layout. Twisting later assures good flip rotation and is easier to spot the floor, but Jordan has a strong set and good flip rotation also. After the first half flip, Rebeca has just now started her twist where Jordan has done half of her full twist already. Great form from both of them. After one flip, Jordan has pretty much completed her full twist and Rebeca has completed a half twist. The end of the skill for Jordan is a layout backflip. The end of the skill for Rebeca is a branny or a front with a half. Her next pass is a round off back handspring double layout with a lot of power in this one. We see in the side-by-side with Jordan Childs, they both have a low block angle and this helps them to launch up and not travel back too much. Great height and form from both of them. Pulling the arms down by the side at this point helps the chest rise up and speeds up the flip rotation in the second flip. They both complete their second flip landing comfortably. Her most common dismount is a round off back handspring double pike. She has nice arm and chest lift to initiate good height and speed in her flip rotation. She also has a really nice tight pike position with her legs glued together. And here she lands very high trying to absorb that landing. Very nice. Rebeca has very expressive and confident movement in her choreography. She also shows very high leaps with very nice flexibility. Nice split position here. In the floor finals, I believe that Rebeca looked the most comfortable during her performance in the 2024 Olympics. Let's get started with the analysis. Her mount was really cool and very difficult. A round off layout, 1.5 twisting back, step out to a round off back handspring tucked Arabian double front, immediately punching to a layout front. Very original. Look how far she travels back on this 1.5 twist. To create power, you must move fast across the floor, and the distance on her 1.5 twist gives her the momentum to go into her tucked Arabian double front very efficiently. She twists a bit early, reaching slightly around to the side, but she gets into a very tight tuck early, and she squared off pretty well before her half flip. Watch closely as she's still rising after her first flip and has tons of time to open out of her second flip to prepare for her punch layout front. She lands with her arms perfectly over her head to throw into her layout front flip. She travels very short in her layout front, which tells me she has a lot of momentum going up and not as much going forward. She appears to flip in one place. Very clean form and very controlled landing. Here's a side-by-side of Olympic gold medalist Kyla Ross. Ali reaches around the side a bit where Kylie reaches up and over more. This means Ali will be more off axis than Kylie, but not enough to affect the skill. Ollie gets her half twist done very fast and gets into a tight tuck very quickly. Her hands are already on her knees, so you can see she starts to pull her flip rotation very fast. Allie opens up very early and has plenty of time to navigate her landing. Look at the difference in their arms. This is because Ollie is setting up for her layout front, where Kylie is trying to control her landing. Both very nicely done. Ollie played with a piked Arabian double front into an immediate tuck front, but I think it was too inconsistent to punch at the right time to consistently land the immediate layout. However, she did continue to use a piked Arabian double front into a leap very easily done. Ollie did reach around the side on her takeoff. This did help her to get into a tight tuck, but it also did offset her access. Her one knee is slightly higher than the other as she is twisting a little bit crooked here. This continues throughout the layout, but it doesn't affect any of this combination, and she has great control throughout this sequence. This is a cool leap. It's a tour jeté with a flat and very parallel split and a full turn before landing. It happens fast, nicely done. Great flexibility here on a regular split leap. Also very stylish to look out to the side with her hands held out elegantly. I'd like to see a bit more toe point in this leap. Nice height and iconically done. She would also put leaps in consecutive rebound sequences, still maintaining very nice flexibility and exhibiting great energy, excitement, and dynamics. Here's a double turn with her leg horizontal. The one on the right is off and she keeps her arms down to help with those micro adjustments, but she finishes both turns comfortably. This is a beautiful double layout with great technique. Wow. Great full arm reach in her set here. Her arms move down to her side, which helps with flip rotation. Now look close as her chest has a second rise and seemingly lifts her into her second flip. She finishes this clean, high, and easily. I believe she could have easily added a twist or two in this double layout if she chose to. She most often dismounted with a double pike or a double backflip with straight legs and a bent body. She does this so easily. I do believe she could have done a much more difficult dismount if she chose to, but most likely for her dismount she chose consistency over difficulty. Her tumbling and her choices did lead to 2 medals in 2 different Olympics. Great floor work. Here's a whip back to 2 back handsprings into a full in or a double back with a full twist. Look at her form. This is one of Shannon's defining characteristics for all of her gymnastics. Her legs are completely glued together. Her body is tight and moves like one unit. This is really great technique. Look here, it looks like she's gonna fly out of bounds because her feet are so far under her, but she so quickly adjusts, stepping back, and just presents like it was planned. She was a smart gymnast. Each one of her splits could have been a poster as they were ideal in her technique and execution. It's in these kind of details you can see how efficiently she trained. She gave an effort for perfection in the big and the small skills alike. I just put this in because I thought it was cool. Here's a standing back handspring to generate height into another ideal leap position. Really classic and beautiful gymnastics. Nice Terminator pose. Then to an elegant Valdez. This is her whip back to 2 back handsprings into a double pike. Again, on the head-on angle, you can see how glued together her legs are with her trademark excellent form. Good set and very controlled double pike. She ends with a full in back out, and it's slightly lower than her mount, but she lands with the same control as she did in her mount. Just great execution in every skill in transition and really focusing on the small details. This is dance with elegance, precision, and training. Really very nice. Moving on to floor. She mounts with a tuck double-double or a double backflip with 2 twists. Just so solid. She has a very long back handspring with a deep block angle to create good height. She does this skill with very clean form, and she was consistent in this very difficult mount. Here's a side-by-side with Olympic champion Jade Carey. They look very similar in their form and technique, with the biggest difference to me is that they both twist in the opposite direction. Very nice. Toes pointed, knees glued together, and lands very high and solid. Her second pass is a whip back, immediate laid out triple full, or laid out backflip with a triple twist. A whip back is a long, low, laid out backflip used to generate power. She treats her whip back like a back handspring without touching her hands. Look how close her hands are to the floor. This gives her a lot of power for her triple full and contributes to her consistency. Her legs stay very tight together with noticeable toe point. This is exceptional execution on her triple full. Again, her splits are adequate in her flexibility. Her straddle split is more virtuous and shows more flexibility. Her third pass is a front handspring layout full twisting front punch to a Rudy or a layout front flip with 1.5 twists. She's very patient with her twist and follows through with her arm throw to initiate good flip rotation first before starting her twist. This helps her stand up very high on her landing. She always has nice toe point in the air on her acro skills, and this adds greatly to her elegance over all her gymnastics. This layout backflip with a double twist or double 4 is more of a short transition pass, but done very clean. Her dismount is a tucked full in back out or a double backflip with a full twist, done very clean and comfortably. In this side by side with Shannon Miller, we can see Shawn completes her full twist later than Shannon, and this makes it more difficult to get into the tight tuck position on her second flip. Shawn does have very good flip rotation and makes his full in very easily and comfortably. Nicely done. Now moving on to floor exercise. She mounts with a half in half out or a full twisting double backflip. In the half in, half out, the first flip has a half twist, and the second flip has the second half twist. This is most often considered more difficult than the more common full in back out, where the full twist is done on the first flip. She does this very well and very consistently with a nice landing. Her second pass was most often a tucked Arabian double front. Again, she was really good at getting into a tight tuck after her half turn, but she still has a slight cowboy with her knees apart and spins very fast. This is much more noticeable in slow motion. She was very consistent on controlling this landing. We can see here she uses the exact same technique on the floor as she does when she dismounts off the beam with this skill. The biggest difference is she's a bit more cowboyed in her tuck on the beam, and it's more difficult to get the flip rotation around. She has some dynamic and less common leaps and turns in her floor routine and shows great flexibility. Here's another example of that on her switch leg split leap. Very nicely done. Her next pass was most often a round off back handspring, 2.5 twisting back layout, punch to an immediate layout front flip. Her layout front flip would be slightly whipped over and not have that much height, but it was very clean and very consistent. She had more balletic style, as we can see here in this literal ballet leap sequence. Very nice. And most often she would dismount with a round off back handspring double pike flip or a straight leg bent body double back. Very comfortably done. We can see on this head-on view that her legs are glued together, and very nice execution throughout her double pike. Sometimes, before her first pass, she started with a fast double turn with her leg held out. We can see she spins very fast and aggressive. This is a side-by-side with Ali Raceman. They're both very similar, with their hands held over their head and nice control. Alicia moves through her skills and choreography very fast. Her first tumbling pass is a full in back out or a full twisting double backflip done very clean. This is a side-by-side with herself. She has a nice reach up and starts her twist a bit early. Her technique's a bit unique compared to many other athletes, as she grabs both legs very early, even before she's completed her first half twist. This early grabbing of her legs helps her increase her speed of flip rotation. She has very clean form and her legs are tight together throughout, and opens up early with straight legs in preparation for her landing. She lands very high and strong and moves quickly into her choreography. Her second pass was traditionally a triple full or a layout backflip with 3 twists done incredibly well. When we slow it down, we can see she reaches around the side very fast to get into her twist, but because her back handspring is so strong and she's so bouncy, she has no problem getting enough height to complete her triple full. Her feet and legs are glued together. It's very common to cross your feet in multiple twisting skills, but she stays incredibly tight with excellent form throughout this triple full. She lands very high and completes this triple twist very easily. Really nicely done. She showed very nice flexibility in her split leaps. She seemed to apply above average energy in the effort to make her leaps look even stronger. Very energetic and exciting. Her next tumbling pass is a tucked Arabian double front. Very solid, again with her knees and legs very tight together. Here's a side-by-side with Ali Raceman. Ali reaches around the side more to get into her tuck faster. Alicia's arms in her set for her Arabian double front look exactly like her set for her full in back out. They both square up forward very well. Alicia grabs behind her legs, where Ali grabs on top of her knees. Many find that grabbing on top of the knees helps your flip rotation speed accelerate, but you're also more susceptible to cowboying or keeping your knees apart in your front. Each athlete has their preference. We can see Ali is a bit more rotated at this point. They both land very high and easily. Ali has her arms up to prepare for her laid out front, where Alicia is focused on controlling her landing. Well done. Here's a very clean front handspring to a layout front flip with a full twist, then springing to a prone fall, moving very quickly. She has good arm throw and she's patient not to twist too early. At the half turn mark, which is essentially a branny, she spots the ground and sees it very clearly and focuses on the floor as she completes her full twist. Very nice technique and excellent execution. Her next pass is a round off back handspring, 2.5 twisting back layout punch to an immediate layout front. She has great control on this combination. Here's a side by side with Hesley Rivera. Alicia's feet are glued together and very clean. Hesley has a slight feet crossing over each other, but really they're both very clean and execute the skill very well. They land almost identical, but Alicia punches to a layout front where Hesley focuses on controlling her landing. Very nicely done. Alicia's final tumbling pass is a piked double back. She has a long, strong arm set. She gets into a nice clean pike position and lands very high and comfortably. This dismount is very comfortable for her, and I imagine she could do a more difficult dismount, but probably focuses on a clean and controlled landing on her final pass. Again, her legs are tight together with great execution in a very tight and comfortable pike position. In an overview, Alicia was one of the cleanest gymnasts with her execution in the air that I've ever seen. Very much like Olympic champion Shannon Miller, Alicia paid a lot of attention to her execution and being clean in her skills, and the result was some really beautiful gymnastics. It was her aggressive expression and great execution that set her apart from the rest of the field, and I believe she inspired many other athletes to try to duplicate this aggressive approach. Thanks again for checking out my video, and I hope you enjoyed it and got some value out of it. Feel free to like and subscribe if you'd like to get notified each time I release videos like this. Also, if you have any thoughts or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments. As always, all my best, and until next time, rock on.